Alright, so today I am going to do what I think are my top 10. Now, mind you, it is my top 10 sequels. I'm not going to say of all time because this is subject to change. It's all based on how I feel. So, let's start off with this one. Alright, so the first one I'm going to do right now, first sequel, number 10. And I'm going to be biased because this is going to stay at number 10 because I'm Italian. And that's going to be the Godfather III. Now, hold on a minute. Just wait right there. Don't go anywhere yet. I'm getting the K-Dog phone. Or the Poppy phone. And let me just read their description of the Godfather III. You ready for this one? This one's going to be great. As Michael Corleone ages, he finds that being the head of the Corleone crime family isn't getting any easier. He wants his family out of the mafia, but the mob king isn't eager to let one of the most powerful and wealthy families go legit. Making matters even worse is Michael's nephew, Vincent. Not only does Vincent want a piece of the Corleone family's criminal empire, but he also wants Michael's daughter? His daughter? Kissing cousins? Are you kidding me? That's disgusting! I'm appalled! And this is Godfather! This is the Godfather 3! Anyway, let me put the Poppy phone down. Okay, another thing I want to talk about that I thought was kind of awful about Godfather 3 was the fact that Robert Duvall wasn't in it as a consigliere. We had pretty boy George Hamilton. For those who don't know who George Hamilton is, George Hamilton is the KFC guy, and of course he's the Academy Award winner for Best Actor for his portrayal as Zorro in Zorro the Gay Blade. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about the movie. I mean, it's number 10. It pretty much took the Godfather franchise and pretty much it kicked it right in the ball. Definitely just right, yeah, and just painfully we just thinking about it. But one thing I can say, heck, you know, I thought Sofia Coppola was hot. Next one I'm going to talk about is going to be X-Men The Last Stand. Okay, now think about X-Men The Last Stand. This is what the movie was about. The movie was about they found a cure for the mutants. And a war happened. The end. All I got to say is thank God for Rebecca Romijn. Because she's pretty much the only good thing that came out of that movie. When she got demutinized and she became her beautiful blonde self, that was probably the highlight of the whole movie. What can I say? All right, the movie started off within the first 5 minutes of killing off Cyclops, and then eventually it worked. And then eventually it worked its way off to killing Professor X. Now, Cyclops, I really don't care because Cyclops was nothing but a. Personally speaking, I think the screenwriter should have been killed off within the first 5 minutes of the movie. Actually, he should have even been killed off within the first 5 minutes of them asking him to write the movie. That's how bad it was. Okay, so number 8. People are probably not going to remember this movie. I sure as hell do. Why? It scarred me. It freaking scarred me. And that's going to be Teen Wolf 2. Okay. For those who have not seen the first Teen Wolf, you had Michael J. Fox playing Scott Howard, who was a high school student and, you know, ended up joining the basketball team, wolfed out, became a wolf, and became the superstar of the basketball team, and realized he was losing his friends and all this other stuff, and stopped being a wolf, and the whole team united, and they beat the rival city. Those who don't know, Teen Wolf 2 is about Todd Howard. Todd Howard is the cousin of Scott Howard, who is also the cousin of David Hogan, who is also the cousin of Alex P. Keaton. It's a large family. What do you want me to say? It's a large family in the 80s, you know. All right, so pretty much what this is about the late bloomer Todd Howard and him getting a scholarship to college, and, you know, his uncle, who ends up being Scott's father, takes him to college. And Todd, like I said before, is a late bloomer. I can't criticize him for being a late bloomer. I personally didn't lose my virginity until I was like 36, so I can't really criticize him. He goes to college on a boxing scholarship because I think the coach hopes that he can wolf out just like his cousin. I think that's what the movie was about. The movie was awful. This is how bad the movie was. The movie was so bad, they brought Chubby back into the movie. They brought Chubby. Chubby was funny in the first one. But then here, now you're putting him on a boxing team. Get the hell out of here. You turned Chubby into freaking King Hippo from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is what you did. Okay, so number 7. Number 7 is going to be The Karate Kid 3. So The Karate Kid is about, you know, the sensei, I think his name was John Kreese or something like that, who was the sensei of Cobra Kai from Karate Kid 1. Anyway, he's broke, he's destitute, he's homeless, he's a bum. He's a freaking bum. He's like the biggest loser that came out of the 80s ever since Daniel-san beat the hell out of, what the hell is his name? Johnny. Seems like every villain from the 80s, their name was Johnny, except for Dirty Dancing. You know, people remember Dirty Dancing. Remember that turn that Patrick Swayze did, you know? Oh, Johnny! Okay, so John Kreese, like I mentioned, he's broke, he's destitute, he needs help. He seeks financial assistance from his friend, his Vietnam comrade, his buddy, Terry Silver. All right, let me tell you about Terry Silver. Terry Silver reminded me of Jeff Tate from Queensryche. Okay, you can't deny that. They both had that long black silk ponytail. All right, so Terry Silver decides to give him money. They opened up the Cobra Kai. They have some other freaking kid who beats the hell. I don't know. Okay, this is what it ends up being. Karate Kid is after Terry Silver gives him the money. Cobra Kai reopens. They find the other kid. It's the Karate Kid Part 1 all over again. That's all it is. I was a sucker. I saw it in the theater. I was a sucker. I fell for it. I fell for it. Don't feel ashamed. You're not alone. Number 6. People out there, if you know me, you know I'm a Transformer fan. So number 6, worst sequel, my opinion of all time, Revenge of the Fallen. Okay? Let me just tell you, the only thing I could provide you about, the only good thing this movie could provide you is its absence. It was awful. It was awful. I'm not even going to talk much about it right now. I'm going to spare you guys the 18 hours of criticism and complaints I have for the movie. We're moving on to number 5. Number 5. Number 5. Highlander The Quickening. Yes, Highlander The Quickening. Who out there saw the original Highlander? The original Highlander was a great, great flick. And the soundtrack for the flick was done by Queen. Every song that was done in that movie, Highlander, was done by Queen. Princess of the Universe is one of the coolest songs that Queen ever did. Thank God they didn't really use any Queen songs for the 1991 piece of shit came out, okay? The movie was awful. First off, let's start off. Highlander 2 started off in 1994, where apparently the ozone layer is as thin as a condom. And Connor McLeod is some kind of scientist after he got the quickening in the first one, and he's trying to fix the ozone layer. Now let's jump 30 years later, okay? So now we're in, what was it, 2024, okay? These aliens from this planet, Xylist or whatever it was, yeah, now all of a sudden the Highlanders are actually aliens. They're not human beings with special powers that have to do battle and confront until there could be only one. Apparently there's more than one. The movie just completely destroyed everything about the first one. It really did, okay? It should just never have been made, okay? Okay. So apparently Connor McLeod could not fix the ozone layer, but he was able to fix himself a sandwich. And as I mentioned before, it's aliens from another planet, which means everything about the quickening is a crock of shit. And they brought back Ramirez. How do you bring back Ramirez? Ramirez got beheaded. He got decapitated in the first one from the Kurgan. How do you bring him back? How do you do it? Using the quickening from another alien is how you do it. That was their answer. I'm done. Number 4, Jaws the Revenge. Now, the reason why Jaws the Revenge is number 4 and not number 1 is because the 3 that are going to come afterwards I felt were worse than Jaws the Revenge. Now, Jaws the Revenge is about the great-grandson of the first Jaws, and he decides to seek out the children of Chief Brody. So he finds his youngest son, Sean, and then in New England, Sean is working, what is he, a Coast Guard or something like that. He's for the Amity Police Department. He's working on in the lake. It's like a few days before Christmas. I think there's some kind of log or something like that stuck in the pier, and the shark ends up chewing him up for a midnight snack. Now, after Sean got eviscerated, the shark then decided, because it's cold here in New England, why not take a vacation down to the Bahamas? Why not? And go after the oldest son of Chief Brody. And fail miserably doing it. Number 3. Okay. Number 3. Now, as soon as I say what number 3 is, you'll understand why Jaws of Revenge is number 4. Number 3. Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin. What a colorful spectacle piece of shit this movie was. Okay? First off, you had 2 villains in the movie. You had Victor Freeze and you had, what was her name? Dr. Isley. I don't know if it was Patricia Isley or something like that. I can't remember. Yo, what was her name? Pamela Isley. I'm sorry. Okay, so it was Pamela Isley, who was played by Uma Thurman. Victor Freeze is played by... It's not a tumor. All right? The only thing that's really villainous about this movie is the fact that they casted Arnold as Dr. Freeze. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I have no clue. Let me tell you something. If I had $1 for every great one-liner that was in this movie, I'd be broke. I'd be in the poorhouse. Seriously, I would be broke. It was just awful. You have Victor Freeze saying "chill out," and then you have Batman, who had his own American Express card. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Not only that, watching Batman and Robin, I felt like I was at a rave. I felt like I was at a club. I felt like I took ecstasy. I felt like everything I touched just tingled. But the movie itself didn't make me tingled. It stunk. It was awful. It was garbage. Why the hell did you put Batman's nipples and his ass in there? There's absolutely no reason Joel Schumacher should have done that. You just destroyed Batman. All I gotta say out there is that people out there, you should be kissing Christopher Nolan because at least he brought Batman back to life. I don't know what's gonna happen right now that we got the Tweenlight who's about to play as Batman, but heck, you know, nobody knows what the future has to hold, so we'll see. All right, so the number 2 movie, Crow, City of Angels, or as I like to say, Crow, City of Angels. This movie, honestly, I would rather watch paint dry all day than watch this movie. This movie was just an abomination to my eyes. It was just awful, awful. This is what it's about. It's about a mechanic, his kid. They get killed. They get killed by Iggy Pop. 1 year later, they come back. Well, not them, but 1 year later, the main character comes back. I don't remember his name, to be honest with you. I don't care. Just thank God it's not Eric Draven. He came back, killed Iggy Pop, killed everybody else. That was pretty much the movie. It felt like a heroin trip, to be honest with you, even though I never did heroin. But now that I've seen this movie, Crow, City of Angels, I don't think I'll ever do heroin. Thank God. Honestly, everybody, honestly, me being a father and having 3 kids myself, and about the mechanic and his son being killed by Iggy Pop, honestly, everyone, if you're waiting for me to give you shit, you might as well just pack a lunch because it's going to be a long time. Number 1. And this is why it's number... I'm going to explain why this one's number 1. First off, the only reason this one's number 1 is because I think I only watched 15 minutes of the movie, shut it off, and walked away. Okay? If I do that, that means you're awful. You're terrible. You lost my interest. And I pretty much watch anything. I'm not going to say that. I don't watch anything. I don't watch Sadobotany, so definitely I don't watch everything. That doesn't... No. But Speed 2 Cruise Control. What a horrible movie this was. You first off, Jason Patrick, I would say, reprised... Okay. Jason Patrick reprises the role of Keanu Reeves, but changes his name to Alex and is on the SWAT team. And I think I started watching the beginning of the movie. He's chasing some perpetrator on a bike or a motorbike or whatever it is. He meets up with Annie on a beach or something. I don't remember. All I know is that he told her he was some kind of beach guard, ended up lying he's on a SWAT team. And he said, well, it's because your old boyfriend was a cop and he was on a SWAT team, blah, 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 blah. Click! And that's exactly what I did to the movie. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Sorry, guys. I'm done. I'm done giving you my opinions. I'll give you some more later on down the road. Just be wary of sequels. My sequels aren't bad. Sequel.
The whole stage is empty. Okay. I'm fired?
Stick a fork in me! I'm done!